happening now. First at noon, as President Trump prepares for his primetime address to Congress tonight, protests against his administration's actions are taking place around the nation, including here in Hawaii. Chelsea Davis joins us live from Wailuku with more on their message. Chelsea.
Yeah, Ash, I'm across the street from the state building off of South High Street here in Wailuku, where you can see behind me dozens of people are here for the second protest in about 2 weeks, and they're actually on both sides of South High Street here in Wailuku. Organizers here tell me they have more than 400 people committed to attend here. The protest officially started right at 12 o'clock. I'm going to actually step out of the way just so you can get a better look at the people behind me, the signs they're holding, and exactly why and what they're protesting. As you mentioned, Ash, this is part of a nationwide protest. People here tell me they are standing up for human rights. They say they are defending their democracy, and they tell me they are fighting to protect Medicaid workers and services. Again, this all comes just hours before President Trump's first address to Congress since retaking the White House. And as you can see, a lot of honks, a lot of supporters here driving by, beeping their horns and waving. We will have much more on this protest here in Wailuku at our later newscast tonight. Reporting live in Wailuku, I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
Thank you so much, Chelsea, for that update. And in his address to a joint session of Congress tonight, the president is expected to take a victory lap and highlight accomplishments from his first few weeks in office. While Democrats say the president is inflicting damage to the nation, Erica Brown has more from Capitol Hill.
The White House says President Trump plans to focus much of his address to Congress on border security.
President Trump is deploying a multifaceted approach to ending migrant crime, sealing the southern border, repelling the invasion, and shutting down trafficking.
The president says drug trafficking, especially fentanyl, is one of the reasons for the newly implemented 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico, and now 20% tariff on Chinese goods. All three announced plans for retaliatory tariffs, which will likely lead to higher prices.
We should be working together to ensure even greater prosperity for North Americans in a very uncertain and challenging world. This is a very dumb thing to do.
Trump responded to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, saying when he puts on a retaliatory tariff on the U.S., our reciprocal tariff will immediately increase by a like amount. Many Democratic lawmakers say they've asked fired government employees to be their guests at tonight's address as they condemn the new administration's efforts to slash the size of the government. Democrats say the president has failed to deliver on his promises.
In 1 month, grocery prices have gone up. Keeps going. Housing costs up. Measles cases up. Vladimir Putin's influence up.
Elon Musk, who has been leading the government downsizing effort, will also be in attendance tonight. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And President Trump's address is set to begin at 4 p.m. our time. You can watch the speech on KCHNL or KGMB. We'll still have your local news on K5. A former corrections officer at the Federal Detention Center in Honolulu has pleaded guilty to 6 counts of sexually abusing inmates under his custody. According to court documents, Mikhail Rivera worked at the FDC from 2014 to 2018, and while on duty, he committed multiple sexual acts with one inmate who did not consent, and he also engaged in sexually abusive conduct with 2 other inmates under his supervision. The 47-year-old is scheduled to be sentenced on July 3rd and faces a maximum penalty of 15 years in prison for each of the 6 counts. A man has been charged in a robbery incident involving the use of a sword that took place on February 25th outside the Wailoa Grill in Hilo. 22-year-old Shanson Marpel was arrested and charged with 19 offenses, including robbery in the first degree, which is a Class A felony. Marpel will appear for his preliminary hearing today. A new memorial has been made for a teen struck and killed on Kapi'olani Boulevard. This utility box, painted purple with flowers at Kamakea Street, is for Sarah Yara. She is the 16-year-old McKinley High student who died in a hit and run while walking to school 2 years ago. The memorial was created by local street artist John Prime Hina, who was inspired by the artwork from Yara herself.
As we were painting, people are very impatient when people are crossing the street on Kapilani. And there was a few times when we saw cars just zoom right in front of the pedestrians without waiting for them to cross the street.
Sarah's alleged killer, Mitchell Miyashiro, remains in custody at OCCC. He has pleaded guilty to 4 charges, including negligent homicide and driving without a license. His trial is set for July. State senators killed a measure to allow a high-rise development at Ward Village. Now, this bill would have allowed the Office of Hawaiian Affairs to build housing on the Makai side, where over half of the residents would need to be making 140% of the state's annual median income or lower. Now, it comes after the state transferred the land to OHA, but now it looks like no residential buildings will be built on the property. Opponents of the measure were concerned over the environmental impacts. The Senate deferred the bill as they could not come to an agreement. And Mayor Rick Blangiardi submitted his proposal for the 2026 fiscal year budget for Honolulu. He wants to spend nearly $4 billion on operation costs and $1.2 billion on capital improvements. Among the spending priorities for the upcoming year, affordable housing with a focus on designing communities near rail stations. He also wants to address homelessness-related issues and added more funding for public safety agencies. Officials held a virtual meeting this morning to discuss Maui County's 2025 hazard mitigation plan. Now, residents were invited to participate in the conversation around impacts of natural hazards on the Valley Isle. Participants were asked to share ideas and ask any questions they might have.
Especially following the wildfires that the county experienced, is making sure that, okay, if you live in a high-risk fire area, what do you need to do if there's a fire? It's not just telling you you're in a high fire danger area or you're along the coast and you're in a flood area or something like that. It's like, if I'm there, what do I do if that hazard starts to occur?
The next virtual meeting will take place next Wednesday, April 16th at 9 a.m. For more information on the county's hazard mitigation plan, visit the Hazard Mitigation webpage. Here's a live look now at Halema'uma'u crater, and it doesn't look like much right now, but the 12th episode of the latest Kilauea eruption restarted at around 7:30 this morning in the south vent, then moved over to the north vent. Scientists say the subdued start involved some low spattering and a small lava flow, but always a reminder that volcanic activity can change at any time.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Here's a look at your first alert weather headlines. The main 2 things we're tracking over the next couple of days is strong winds and some high surf. The National Weather Service has actually issued a wind advisory for the eastern half of the state. That includes portions of Maui County and a majority of Hawaii Island. These are going to last until 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Just a quick look at our first alert futurecast as we're going forward. Strong winds are expected each afternoon. I'll give you a further breakdown coming up.
Thank you, Drew. An actress with millions of social media followers has apologized to state officials after facing backlash for petting a sea turtle on Maui. Now, the video she posted prompted a stern response from the governor. Dylan Ancheta has more.
Actress China Anne McClain is at the center of the fallout. She starred in numerous Disney films and shows. In a now-deleted video once posted to her Instagram, she's seen walking up to resting turtles and gently petting them, which some say is a violation of federal protection laws. The video was posted over the weekend and quickly went viral for the wrong reasons. It was taken in Paia on the north side of Maui. The DLNR contacted McClain and learned the video was taken 2 years ago. The caption of the post saying in part, "Just found this turtle gem, found so many other pics from this beautiful healing place that I might share. Don't be shocked if I pack up and move to Maui one of these days." Before it was removed, thousands of people saw it and shared it, and it got nearly 500,000 views. One of them was Governor Josh Green, who commented on it, saying, quote, "Aloha, China. I urge you to educate yourself on Hawaii's laws and the importance of protecting our marine life before visiting our islands." Governor Green went on to say, "Please delete this video and do better." Hundreds more in the comments called for McLean to face steep fines for breaking the law. In an update provided by the DLNR, McLean and her family apologized sincerely for their actions, saying they were unaware of the laws and never intended to be culturally or environmentally disrespectful. Todd Steiner founded the Turtle Island Restoration Network and has worked to protect turtles around the world. He says Hawaii is one of the few places where turtles actually come on shore to rest, thermoregulate, and digest.
Just like any Hollywood actress probably doesn't want to be bothered when after they eat. Sea turtles are in the same boat.
He says that while green sea turtles are usually calm animals, they do have very strong jaws. Hawksbill turtles, which are also found in Hawaii, do bite, and either way, you should avoid getting close.
You know, we can pass on diseases as well as disturb the animals. You really don't want to have direct contact with these animals as much as in your heart it would feel nice. But yeah, just don't do it.
Dylan Ancheta, Hawaii News Now.
And the DLNR said her actions may not have violated any state or federal protection laws because it didn't appear she harmed the animal. However, it certainly went against wildlife viewing guidelines. Officials did not say if McLean would face any penalties for her actions. The state is launching a new survey in hopes of preventing the spread of bird flu. The state health department wants to hear from anyone who keeps a backyard flock or is involved in bird rescues to learn about their understanding of the virus, as well as their practices and needs. Answers to the state's survey will be anonymous. Look for a link on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. Well, just ahead on This Is Now, the two NASA astronauts who've been stranded in space for 9 months are finally returning home. Details on their journey back to Earth. Plus, this week marks the 50th anniversary of Hawaii's legendary voyaging canoe. Mahealani Richardson takes us back in time to the moment Hokulea was first launched into the Pacific. countdown is on for 2 NASA astronauts to finally return home after their 10-day mission stretched to 9 months. The stranded Starliner test pilots spoke with reporters from the International Space Station today ahead of their planned touchdown on Earth later this month. Danya Backus has more.
NASA test pilots and astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore are ready to come home after being stranded aboard the International Space Station for more than 9 months. The pair launched aboard the Boeing Starliner in June for what was billed as a 10-day mission. But the Starliner had so many problems getting to the space station, NASA ruled it too dangerous to carry anyone. It flew back to Earth empty. They were delayed again when the new SpaceX capsule that was supposed to deliver their replacements took extra time to prepare.
The hardest part is, having the folks on the ground have to not know exactly when we're coming back. It's been a roller coaster for them, probably a little bit more so than for us.
But the veteran flyers say for them, spending time in space never gets old.
We came up prepared to stay long, even though we planned to stay short. That's what we do in human spaceflight.
We have had some amazing aurora while we've been up here. The sun's been really active, and it really puts you sort of in your place.
Williams and Wilmore are now scheduled to return to Earth in a few weeks after the next ISS crew arrives.
We are just feel fortunate and thankful, though, that we have seats, and we'll be coming home, riding the plasma, splashing down in the ocean, so that's what we're looking for.
But they hope their time in space is far from over.
Hey, we're going to the moon and Mars. That's what my plan is.
I'll be right beside Butch if that's the case.
Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Here at home, Pacific Air Charter received FAA authorization to resume its on-demand charter business in Hawaii. They will use its fleet of a brand new state-of-the-art twin-engine aircraft designed for short hauls. For more information, head to our website at the bottom of your screen. Meanwhile, the Hickam Federal Credit Union has officially changed its name to Lokahi Federal Credit Union. The CEO says the new name better represents their identity and the members they proudly serve. All account numbers, services, cards, checks, and online banking access will remain unchanged. For more information, head to the website at the bottom of your screen. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Drew Davis is going to have a full look at your forecast in 2 minutes.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. And our first alert weather headlines again. Strong winds and high surf. That's the stories we're going throughout the rest of this week. The National Weather Service, again, has issued a wind advisory for the eastern half of the state. This is going to last until 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Now, it includes portions of Maui County and Hawaii Island. We'll also see some breezy trades out over Oahu and Kauai. Just giving you a quick look at our first alert windcast as we're going forward. This is Tuesday around 3 p.m. So this afternoon, you're seeing 20 to 25 mile per hour sustained winds out there. That's also the case throughout Wednesday afternoon as well. Again, the wind advisory ends at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, but could be extended further in time. These breezy trades are going to be sticking around for a while. Let's take you island by island as we're going into the rest of this afternoon. Over on Kauai, scattered showers and mostly sunny conditions. Here on the Gathering Place, breezy and mostly sunny. 83 in town, 81 in Kaneohe. A better chance for some windward showers out there today. Maui County, scattered showers and mostly sunny. Moving over to the island of Maui, 84 in Kihei, 82 in Kahului. Moving over to Hawaii Island, mostly sunny. Lighter winds expected in the shadow of the Hawaii Island summits. Eastern portions of the island, showers are likely and mostly cloudy. Better chance for showers over the windward portions of Hawaii Island, and scattered showers expected on the northern portions of the Big Island as well. High surf advisories are still in effect until noon today for the north and west facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, and the north facing shores of Maui. And just a quick look at our surf and shoreline forecast. This is for this afternoon. North facing shores around 8 to 12, west facing shores 6 to 8, small in town. But we've been talking about these winds throughout the bulk of this forecast. East facing shores are going to be climbing because of this trade wind energy, this trade wind swell we've been tracking 5 to 7 for this afternoon as we're going forward throughout the rest of this week. We'll see a boost on east facing shores. Your first alert 7-day forecast, you'll notice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all highlighted in red. We're still tracking the chance for some strong winds. Some wind gusts could climb up to potentially even 30 to 40 miles per hour. And in some spots that are in those wind advisories, just downslope of Mauka areas, could see wind gusts even higher than that. So we're watching this very, very closely. Windy conditions expected all the way into this weekend. We're expecting strong trades to continue. 83 to 84 degrees for high temperatures and lows in the low 70s.
Thank you, Drew. The Polynesian voyaging canoe Hokulea is turning 50 years old this Saturday. Mahealani Richardson takes a look back with some fascinating old footage.
50 years ago, on March 8, 1975, Hawaii's first long-distance voyaging canoe in 600 years was born.
All male spectators are invited to help pull the ropes for the launching, and the cry is "E alulike," let us all work together. The hauling chant begins.
E alulike! Ki-yo-wo! Ki-yo-wo! Hoki-yo-wo! Hoki-yo-wo!
On that historic day, many hands came together to launch the canoe into the Pacific Ocean for the first time from the shores at Kualoa Hakipu'u on Windward Oahu.
50 years ago, they launched one canoe. And then after that, it launched many ideas, many changes in schools, in business, in environment, and the ascending up of Hawaiian values about relationship to nature.
Polynesian Voyaging Society founders Herb Kawainui Kane, Ben Finney, and Tommy Holmes set out on a mission to revive a tradition that had been dormant for centuries. They needed to spread awareness and garner support for a project that many struggle to understand. The next year, Hokulea sailed to Tahiti and back, proving that ancient Polynesians were skilled voyagers.
We should just keep launching canoes. And they may not be a voyaging canoe. It may be the ideals, the beliefs, the values of a single individual that wants to make a better world.
For 50 years, Hokulea has been a beacon of cultural revitalization, environmental stewardship, and a rediscovery of traditional Polynesian wayfinding. Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
And Hokulea's 50th birthday commemoration is this Saturday at Kualoa Regional Park. You can watch on K5 starting with sunrise at 7 a.m., then live coverage from 9 to 11 a.m. And later, our news special at 7 p.m., A Canoe is Born, Hokulea, shows the 1975 film documenting her launch. Well, still to come, a 2-year-old calls 911 with a silly emergency. How police officers responded in 2 minutes. Before we go to break, here's Ryan and Yunji with a preview of today's Spotlight Now.
Coming up later today on Spotlight Now, we focus in on tourism.
We'll be talking to the head of the Hawaii Tourism Authority about the latest from the capital, plus how that agency is giving back. Join us today at 1 o'clock on K5.
Time for some good news. Police in Oklahoma responded to an unusual 911 call recently. The police department shared audio of the call in which a toddler asked for, quote, emergency donuts. Now, the next day, the police department fulfilled the little boy's request, sending officers to deliver a box of Dunkin' Donuts to his home. Police say the boy used an old cell phone that could still be used to call 911 in an emergency, but had no other functional use. And check this out, this is really cool. A long-awaited moment was captured live when 2 bald eagles began to hatch. This was in a nest in Big Bear Valley, California, 145 feet up in a tree. The parents are Jackie and Shadow, who have diligently been sitting on those 3 eggs for more than a month. The nonprofit says those cracks are called pips, and the eaglets create them with their egg tooth in their beak. And we have a live look now from the Friends of Big Bear Valley. They set up this camera to keep an eye on the nest, and we're closely awaiting the 3rd egg to hatch. Thanks for watching This Is Now, everybody. More news first at 4 right here on K Channel.